would have been to the house if you would have just not got your ass blown up. All you got to do is take the R4. My ass.
And welcome into Touchdown Live. As always, I am Matthew Travis.
And Jones certainly has a lot of chemistry here with Hereford. Goes to McGinn.
McMillon is Smith in the tackle for Alabama.
The M3 show.
It's not always good for the quarterback on the other side to be talking stuff so early in the game.
Look, I don't have a kid on the way this week, but it's almost time for Alabama football season, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of the M3 Show. Alabama comes out victorious over Vanderbilt, 30-14 over Diego Pavia after a year's worth of shit talk from Diego Pavia. We are back. We have Christian Miller on the podcast this week, former Alabama football player.
What up,
Thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely, man. Glad to be on with you guys. This is cool, man. I like the vibe of it already. I know we're just getting started, but I think it's going to be a good one.
Of course. Our third guest, Slade Bolden and Nick Kelly, the first two. So we'll get to the picks in a little bit, but you have some competition to go up against when we get there here at the end. But as I mentioned, Alabama 30-14, their second ranked win of the season, second ranked win in a row as they beat Vanderbilt. Ty Simpson, another impressive performance. This week we're going to shake it up a little bit. Christian, we were telling you a little bit. We do the good, bad, and the ugly. You guys had some experience getting into the good, bad, and ugly, the film review on Mondays after a game. Here on our show, we like to talk about a good, bad, and an ugly, whether it be a play, a player, or really a position group, whatever it might be from the past game. But before we get there, we've heard a couple good, bad, and ugly stories from Slade, Mac, and Josh. Did you have any good, bad, and the ugly memories with Coach Saban from film review?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did. I'm sure. I guess Josh would have been a true freshman. I don't know if he remembers this, but this was back in my number 34 days. So some people don't know this. I used to wear 34 until Damian Harris came on campus, the next big running back star, and he hijacked my number because we both were on special teams. But at the time, I still was 34, and I was on kick return. And let's just say sometimes when you try to do your job a little too well, you end up out of place or overthinking it, and then you end up on the good, bad, and ugly because you get your ass blown up. Excuse my language. I don't know if I can say it on here, but long story short, man, it's literally to start the game. We're playing LSU. It was at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and I redshirted my first year, so this is like my first year getting action on special teams. And man, basically, we elect to receive. And I'm just amped up, and I just remember my nerves are just going because I'm like, all right, we got to set the tone. And it's LSU. They're hyped up, jumping around. And I just remember, I'm like, all right, I got the R4. Josh, I don't remember the exact call. I forgot what it was, but it was one of those where I was like on the front lines. I'm like, all right, I got R4. Mm-hmm. Just take care of R4. That's my job here.
Yeah.
And so I count them. I got them in my head. I'm like, boom. But you remember, Josh, you set one more inside. So you set on the 5.
You gotta set a yard inside.
Yeah, you set one inside, and then you kick out. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to set on the 5, but I'm kicking out the R4. Easy, right? Well, I drop back. They kick the ball. I drop back, and I immediately flip my hips. I'm scanning. I'm like, all right, I'm keying the R5. Well, things are happening fast, so I guess I drop a little too far inside. Because now I'm inside of R5, but I'm keying R4. And I'm like, oh, he don't even see me. I'm like, I'm about to clean this dude's clock. And I think it was, Duke Riley. I think he's with the Dolphins, or he might be done, but he had like the long blonde hair. But anyway, he was running down, didn't see me. I'm thinking I'm about to clean this dude. I'm like, man, I'm about to ear hold him. I kid you not, bro. It happened so quick. The R5 saw me and thought I was setting on him, but I'm staring at the R4. Next thing I know, I think I'm about to ear hold somebody. I get ear hold. So I get ear hold like 5-8 yards back, and I just go flying. You see my arms fly up. Now I didn't fall, but you just see this tall, lengthy dude just in the air. I run into I think it was Kenyon Drake. Y'all could probably pull. It was like the first play of the game, and I run into him. He bounces off of me, kind of blows up the return. But nobody really probably noticed it. But I'm like, immediately when I came off the field, I'm like, damn. I see B-Dub, and he's just yelling. He's like, "What are you doing, boy?" And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna be on the tape. And sure enough, Monday comes. I think it might have been the first play he even
Yeah.
pointed out.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, and B-Dub was just like, this would have been to the house if you would have just not got your ass blown up. All you gotta do is take the R4, my ass. He always so I was like, damn. But I'm like, you know what, man? Like I was trying to do my
Yeah.
job. And yeah, long story short, I ended up on the ugly. Now
Yeah.
I was on some goods now, but I mean that's you remember the uglies a little bit more. But yeah, I got blown up first play of the game, ran into the returner, and I just learned don't set too far inside, and bro, just stay out the way. You just stay out the way, and everything will be good. But I don't know what Slade's good, bad, and ugly. His might be better than that. But I was about to say it's not one crazy, but first play of the game getting blown up like that, I'm like, all right, welcome to the SEC type deal. I'm like, I'll still get my
Slade had a good and an ugly on the same play. He reached out for the play and it was a touchdown, but he reached out and he got his ass chewed out for that one. And Josh was telling us about one that he did not. He was on the short end of the stick with that one as well. But
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a lot.
You remember the uglies more.
Yeah, you definitely, and it makes you a better player. When you get that ass chewing in front of your peers, you kind of want to polish up your skills and go out there and do the best for your team, just to make sure you're not being embarrassed on,
Yeah, dude.
live
And
TV.
I knew it was coming. No, 100%. And I knew it was coming. There's no worse feeling than like them calling you out in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fun when a laser is literally on your ass on the big ass screen in the team meeting room and everybody's getting to see you most of the time you get blown up or get juked bad or like something bad's happening.
For sure.
It's part of it though. Bill's character.
Always a good way to set the table. And like I said, we like to do a good, bad, and ugly looking at the past game. Josh, I want to start with you looking at this past game. What did you see that you liked, didn't like, and really hated from this past game?
Well, again, offensively, I think we did a great job. We had one turnover, which is unfortunate. It was Ty's first pick of the season, but I think he came out, he threw for 340 yards. I think he looked phenomenal. Great seeing Jam back out there. He had like over 100 yards rushing. So good. The good thing from this game was just getting the run game established early. I really loved that. And then kind of towards the end, he broke one for a touchdown to cover the spread, which was great. I know there were a lot of people happy about that, but I mean, it was just good really seeing those guys getting that run game, getting the O lineman into the groove and setting the line of scrimmage. So I would definitely say that's the good. Bad, like I said, we got a turnover. It's unfortunate, and I kind of saw that the offensive line kind of got some pressure in on Ty Simpson. So definitely want to pick that up for sure. And then the ugly. Defensive. I'm a defensive guy. I'm really not pleased with the rushes that Vanderbilt was able to put up on us. Like, I think they broke one for like 50 yards. Pavia was back there scrambling a little bit. He made himself, that gave him a chance to kind of get some confidence and get into a groove. But I think ultimately we made him pay for it. We got to stop forced fumble in that game. So I'm satisfied with that, but we definitely have to improve there because we're gonna be playing some big SEC talent, and rushing is pretty big. So we need to put a stop to it early so we can kind of get things going in the right direction.
Yeah. And Christian, same thing to you. Some good, some bad, some ugly from what you saw against Vanderbilt in the win on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, piggybacking off of Josh, and I'll try not to be too long with this because I did a big breakdown on my show today, so it's kind of fresh on my mind. But a lot of good. Definitely agree. Running game, we've been looking for that for, I mean, who knows how long now. I've been waiting for that to kind of come alive. I know that Jam coming back, I thought that might provide a little bit of a spark. Still need to start it up. It still needs to start up front, but I think in combination with the offense line playing better than having Jam in there, just his vision and ability to find holes, man, I think has really been that spark that we need in the running game. He rushed for 136 yards, first guy to rush over 100 yards since 2023. So that's definitely a plus. Yeah, since Jason McClellan, exactly. Ty Simpson, like you mentioned, another solid performance from him is crazy. Like some people were like, oh, he kind of took a little bit of a step back in this game because he threw a pick and took some sacks. But it's crazy. I think he just set the bar so high. Because if you look at it, I mean, he's still in this game was 23 of 31, 2 touchdowns. He did have that interception, but I was talking about this earlier too, that to be fair, that interception came. It was a 4th and 1. Now, granted, we were in field goal range, so that's true. However, when you throw that pick, it really was just like pinning them inside the 10 if you did
It's an arm punt.
the football.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't terrible. And the play itself, we went max pros, 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends. So you only have 2 guys going for routes. Yeah. I personally didn't like the play call on 4th and 1, but since you went with that, you only got 2 guys going out, and you pretty much got man coverage and safety back there. There wasn't really anywhere to go with the football there. But that being said, I thought he was great. I mean, the bad for me would probably be, and I'm jumping the gun here, but him taking those sacks. He held the ball a little too long at times. And that's something that's going to come with experience. And I think he's feeling himself. He's really confident, right? He's been making a lot of plays. He's just trying to, squeezing that extra second, seeing if something's there, just like that first touchdown he threw to Ryan Williams on that scramble drill. But you just got to know you got to get rid of the football, because one of those sacks that he took ended up putting us behind the chains and actually led to us not capitalizing in the red zone, which also to me is another bad. I thought our red zone efficiency, although we did put up points, probably should have punched those in for touchdowns instead of trying to take field goals in a couple of those. So that could be better. But a couple other good, I was about to say the turnovers that we forced. I thought that was good. Second half defense, really good. We allowed 127 yards in the first half. Second half, I think there was literally 9 rushing yards. And I think if you take the 3 quarters, there was only 22. So really the first quarter was bad. The rest was all really good. Special teams probably would be bad in my opinion. The field goal that we missed, and then obviously the punt that was janky. It was like a 30-yard punt. That needs to be better. And I would just say, I guess you probably could have thrown one of those that I just named in the ugly. But that, or like Josh mentioned, just the explosive plays, we got to limit those. That 65-yard run for a touchdown by Cedric Alexander. Then Pavia had another long run himself. But outside of that, man, again, a lot of good in this game. I mean, I thought what's his name? Keon Sapp stepping up, had a nice interception. Mm-hmm. Justin Jefferson was the defensive player of the game and player of the week for the SEC. 14 tackles, an interception himself. And I thought that was one of the most pivotal points in the game. Vanderbilt almost scoring and going up 2 scores. You strip the ball out there, you take that away from them, get the ball back to us, which was huge. And then the fact that, we operate a very clean 2-minute drill before the half, go put up points and tie the game. I thought that was really good. I told you guys this is going to be long. Like I said, I got all these facts and
we love it
on my head, but outside of that, man, I think that's pretty much about everything I had. But the biggest thing, like Josh says, a defensive guy, I'm feeling better about the defense. We just have to clean up the big plays, especially on the ground, and just play a little more consistent, right? Pass rush had been a concern for me. That's looking a little bit better. I know we didn't have a whole bunch of sacks, but we were getting a lot of pressure. And one of those guys responsible for that was Jean-Zé Pierre, and who I said he was going to need to step up big this year. Especially with this defense. And he's done that over the last couple of weeks. So I'm pleased with the trajectory that we're on defensively. Just the explosive plays and the inconsistency stopping the run. Those are my biggest, I guess, nitpicks from the defense. But other than that, man, this offense on the other side, to be an explosive team, they're not only explosive like we've seen in the last couple of years. They're able to sustain drives. And even when that running game wasn't perfect, they found ways to have extensions out of it and just do a nice job keeping the football, because that's what we saw in this game. Everything was kind of flipped. Alabama controlled the time of possession versus last year. That was Vanderbilt, right? We had a lot of turnovers in this game. That was flipped. And then our third down performance was much better as well. So it was a pretty solid game across the board for Alabama. And I thought they definitely made a statement in what was considered a revenge game, even though it's Vanderbilt. But hey, man, that's the world we're living in right now.
Mac, it's just Vanderbilt.
No offense, Mac. I know you got a lot of ties there. I think that might be the case.
Yeah, I mean, nothing crazy. I told them last week. I mean, I went to Vanderbilt for my grad year. Ended up opting out like very early beginning of the season because of some stuff with my family. But overall, like I didn't get a full experience there. So it's like, and I grew up in Bama. Went to Alabama for 4 years. It's like that's my home. That's my blood.
Christian, if you ask Josh, though, Mac was actually carrying the goalpost down Broadway down to the river last year.
I'm telling you.
Oh, Mac, I better not.
Listen. We got to stop throwing this around, Matthew, because this didn't happen. I was at a wedding in North Carolina. I have it documented highly. I was not there last year, and I wouldn't have been carrying the damn goalpost down to Broadway. Okay, I don't like spending much time down there anymore.
But how did you react, though? This is the real question. Forget the goalpost.
Welcome to the M3 pod. This is a weekly segment we like to do.
I'll tell you.
Did you celebrate that? I need to know.
Look, I did not celebrate. Everyone at the wedding was Alabama. It's my whole family's there. It's a family wedding. So everyone's obviously disappointed. I was really sad. I was like down bad, like, damn, like we really just lost. Like, Alabama just lost. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, I will say there was a piece of me, a small piece that was like good for them because they're a program like any underdog, good for them to get a big win. Not saying that I wanted it to be against Alabama, but knowing those guys and like knowing the program and how shit it's been in the past like thousands of years. It's like, hey, they got a big win, good for them. But so it's like you can be happy for someone, but really it would be like if I don't know how to describe it. I'm horrible at analogies, but if I like lost the battle but won the war, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, okay, that was a mix up. Let them have that. But in general, we know where everything stands.
It's still all about the tide.
I respect it.
I'm being honest.
I'm giving him a hard time. We know where. I mean, look at his background. I don't see any Vanderbilt back there. I mean, we know where he lies.
It's true.
Look at the hat, man. Look at the shirt. Travis Matthew. We all got rocking over here.
But Mac, I know you had a golf tournament playing with golf adjacent host Cannon Claycomb on Saturday, but watching the Alabama Vanderbilt game Saturday back, what did you see that you liked, didn't like, and want to see improve going forward?
Yeah, I'm looking at Christian's comment and I'm dying. It's not true. Oh my God, that's so distracting. I'm kidding, Christian. I love it. But so as Matthew mentioned, I was playing in a golf tournament with Cannon Claycomb down in Florida. Ton of fun. First time meeting him in person and getting to chat it up since his affiliation playing for the University of Alabama in golf, and just getting to play with him was an exciting experience. But I guess I would say a little bit of a third through the way of the tournament is when the Alabama game started. Both of us in mid tournament had the game on our phones. I had mine like up on the cart, had my speaker actually playing it. And I'm going to be honest, the first half or the first quarter in particular had my golf game like shit. It was like Alabama started off slow. We throw an interception. I'm like, what's going on? Like, this is an absolute nightmare. All to say, the good for me was the bounce back. I think, a lot of years Alabama comes out and stomps on the opponent early, especially in the Saban era. But when you look at like this year and last year, there's a lot of times where, we're playing from behind or there's a slow start. And sometimes the other team continues to just win. And Alabama this year, what I've loved to see, especially in this past game, was, start off with an interception. Then Vanderbilt gets a huge run, breakaway. I think, like you said, Christian, 65 yards from Cedric Alexander. But the ability in the second half to come back, make those adjustments, the defense to play just lights out, the offense and Ty to stay resilient, continue to play well. And overall, like just seeing the receivers and Ty, I tweeted something out or X'd it, whatever you call it, the new term of the new app. But to put it out there about Ty dishing around to everybody. I love to see the receiver room. That's a part of the good for me. Everyone's getting some action. And overall, just a good game offensively, I'd say, besides like the first kind of quarter into the first half was just pretty damn slow. On the bad side, I would say, again, the beginning of the game, how we came out giving up the interception and then the 65-yard run. Just the run defense hasn't been. I'm curious. I can't wait to hear what you guys think, Josh and Christian, but what's going on there? Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, it looks like it looks like it's a problem with the edge, but I could be wrong. I'm not a defensive guy. But just giving up too many big runs and having a breakaway play like that at the beginning of the game is, we're lucky it didn't hurt us more than it did. On the ugly side, I would say, well, that's what I actually had down for the ugly as well, is the run defense. In particular, that very first quarter, just like, what the hell is going on? You can't have that happen. And we talked about a lot the week before, giving Diego Pavia some hope. And it's like those kind of things are what gives a team hope. That's what gives them the will to want to win. That's what gives them the ability to think, hey, we can hang with these guys and we can play with them. But overall, was proud of the way Alabama competed and bounced back in the second half. And, wanted to add to the good side as well. Caden Proctor, just because I love that they're utilizing him on the in the run game. 3rd and 1, crucial 3rd down play. Barrels in there. I mean, who's going to stop the guy? Who's going to stay in front of that? Josh, we talked to Christian, we talked to Josh last week, and we're like, what would you think if that guy's running the football right at you? As a linebacker, like, what are you thinking if Caden Proctor's running that ball at you? What's going through your head?
I'll tell you, shoot, his ass getting chopped like a tree. His ass getting chopped like a tree, and we need some lumber. Is what's gonna happen. I ain't sizing
Yeah,
nobody
man.
370 up. I need all neck, knees, and shoulders
Yeah.
available. Yeah, so he's got that. I mean,
Yeah,
he better
the
hope
big
he's got
thing
his
about
knees.
playing linebacker is being a smart linebacker. You have some of
Mhm.
these blockheads that just want to run in head first and just
Right.
hit everything you see. My thing is, I really paid attention to the details, and like really tried to dive in and scheme against people. So if I know going into the game that, 3rd and 1, heavy formations, that this guy's lined up back there, I'm gonna shift my defensive lineman over a little bit just so he's in that gap. And then, I'm gonna take the right angle, but I'm not going. It doesn't make sense. The math has to math, the science has to science. 6'7", 367 pounds, and my playing weight, I was like 6'4", 245. Come on. I could start from the 50-yard line and run full speed at him and have a head start, and I still think, it'll be a challenge. So you just got to be a smart football player, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can say like, hey, look, you took the easy way out. Yeah, I'm still in the game playing the rest of the game, not going out with a
Exactly.
concussion. So
Exactly. Chop him like a
got to be
tree,
Yeah,
man.
smart.
Christian, do
it'll
you
be
love what
interesting to see.
Christian, do you love we got so fired up. I mean, I'm so as an offensive guy, seeing it, we were talking about that last week, how Caden Proctor had a big play last game as well. Uh
Mhm.
what is that? Does that fire you up getting to see him like in Grub making those calls that are creative on the offensive side?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this. I think number one is displaying his athleticism, but two,
Yeah.
I like look everything Grubb has been doing. I think has been pretty damn solid. I mean, he's committing to the running game. Obviously, the way he's designing things. Look, people want to play a whole bunch of cover two against us. We're nailing them with hole shots. I mean,
Hmm.
everything he's been doing has been very, very, very solid. Then you add that in there, like that is exciting. And to me, I think the biggest thing of what it does is I think it adds to like the morale. Like imagine
For
like as a
sure.
player, like you see y'all run that play and y'all execute it successfully. That we talked about them having a lack of juice in week one. I feel like stuff like that kind of brings up the energy and excitement. And so I
Hmm.
think it's cool, man. Just my only thing is don't get too cute and fancy that ends up backfiring against us. You
Don't
know what I mean?
overdo it. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like, all right, we've had it 2 weeks in a row. Like he's caught one, he's ran one. His big ass better not be throwing anything because he got a big brace on. I don't even, we need to draw the line here. I mean, y'all fullback package, cool, but even like throwing it, like to me, that's risky enough, especially
Yeah.
behind the line. Like, let's just
Didn't was it the
no.
Chiefs, maybe the Lions that used a offensive lineman to throw a touchdown a couple years ago? I think in the playoffs. That'd be wild to see Caden do that, but at this point,
Yeah.
sky's the limit for what he can do. But just wrapping up the good, bad, and the ugly. You guys kind of hit on everything, but the turnovers were really for me key. They came in two really key portions of the game. The forced fumble came after we missed a field 14-0. That kept Alabama a little in the game there. And then the pick late in the fourth quarter came when we were only up six, and that was in the red zone as well. So two really big plays there. I mentioned the kicking that. I'm worried that we're going back to the pre-Will Riker days, but I'm hoping to see that improve because it didn't cost us in either of these two games, but we have three more ranked games in the next four games coming up. So if that doesn't get corrected, it's going to at some point hurt us. And you guys talked about the interception. That really wasn't a problem to me because Christian, like you mentioned, that was fourth down. It was 4th and 1. I don't understand the play call to go deep in that situation. First quarter, it doesn't make sense when you can kick a field goal. Why not just try and get the yard? Use the Caden Proctor play there to get the yard and keep that drive going. I don't understand taking a shot, but the pick, it's neither here nor there. It's fourth down. It's essentially an arm punt. But Christian, for you, looking at this season as a whole, what have you really liked in the response to losing that season opener to Florida State? First time we've seen that in pretty much in our lifetimes, Alabama losing a home opener and then responding in the way that they have over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think the word response, like you said, is I mean, that tells the whole story, right? I mean, what we saw week one, look, I had gone to the scrimmages, I've been in, practice during fall camp. That wasn't the team that I had been watching during those moments, right? So I was very shocked when I saw that product week one. And I was in my head thinking after that game, Mike, I mean, like, did we just not show up to play? Was Florida State better than we anticipated? Did the team fool me? Maybe we just weren't as good as I thought. But I think what I realized was I'm starting to put it into perspective, and that probably was just a one-time thing. You know what I mean? Like they did not have physicality, they lacked intensity, they weren't running to the football, they lacked effort. It just honestly, I'm just kind of wrapping that up and putting that as like, all right, whatever happened, it was a fluke almost. Because what we've seen since then is what I thought this team could be and should be when I was going to those scrimmages, right? I mean, I had seen Ty Simpson airing it out those receivers. I seen Jam Miller running the football very effectively and us establishing a running game. I saw turnovers in camp. I saw the defense flying around. Even the second scrimmage defense was, I mean, they were physical in that second scrimmage. So I was confused. What happened week one? That being said, what I've liked most is number one, their ability to respond, but two, they really just do so many things well as a whole team. I mean, you look at offensively, last couple of years being a little bit more home run hitting or some 3-and-outs, even with the running game kind of taking some time to get going, we've found ways to, really control the tempo of games, right? We have sustainable drive. Even in Florida State, that first drive, I mean, it took like 8 minutes off the clock. I mean, that's how you like to play offense. And then, no, you still have the ability to air it out. It's like the 2-minute drill we saw against Vanderbilt. We needed some points. We went 2-minute, threw the ball very effectively, marched down the field and score points. But then we also saw now that with the running game, they can control the tempo and really pound on you like that when they need to as well. I think the biggest thing right now that I would say, Matthew, is that defensively, there's just still a few things, like I mentioned earlier, that I think need to continue to be improved on, which I feel like we're seeing some of those things. Going into the year, I said there's several things defensively. The pass rush, I wasn't sure who that was going to be to step up because I don't think we have like a true premier guy. I didn't think Quay Russaw before he got hurt. I mean, he's a good athlete, but he still, he still is different than, the Will Andersons, Chris Braswell's, and Dallas Turner's, and obviously the guys that I played with, and myself with, Rashawn Evans and those guys. Yeah. However, they've been stepping up there. We've seen Deontay Lawson get some snaps off the edge. They're trying to find ways to generate pressure. They're calling different pressures. So that's obviously getting better than just tackling and more consistency, being physical and stopping the run. And we can talk about that if you guys want, that what's been happening there. A lot of it initially was more on the physicality side and then also being out of place. But now they've cleaned up a lot of the physicality, but you still just see sometimes it's more of a gap thing, guys not always being in the right spots or feeling things correctly, which they're getting better at, but you still see a little bit of that. And then really what happened this Vanderbilt game, if you watch it, guys technically were in the right spots, but then they're not getting off of blocks, right? Yeah. You got to take the next step. You can't just be in the right spot and say, okay, I'm a B gap player. Here I am. Somebody's got to get off and make a play. And so I think as they keep getting better through those progressions, I think we'll see this defense improve and improve. And they keep showing glimpses of it. Second half against Vanderbilt was really solid. Georgia, the ground game was terrible. But there were moments they did stop the run well. They just had to do it consistently. And then they showed the ability to get off the field on third down. So they just, if they find a way to put it all together, I'll be honest. I mean, watching other teams, I think we're about as good as anybody in the country. I think Ty's playing the quarterback position just as good, if not better than anybody else right now. Offensive line was probably my biggest key going into the year. They've shown drastic improvements. And that's even with them rotating a lot of guys, which is interesting. That's still kind of new to me, but hey, it's working out all right. But I would say I'm pretty pleased. I mean, still a couple things got to clean up, but overall, man, I think we're starting to, figure ourselves out, find that identity. And I think we're going to end up being one of those teams that really kind of strikes at the right time, right? Especially as we get ready for this gauntlet. Luckily, we kind of got that ugly one out of the way week one, because I feel like now we're able to stack and continue on this trajectory as we go through this SEC gauntlet, which is it's going to be really tough, but I think we can handle it if we go out there and do what we need to do.
Yeah, so you mentioned Ty right there. Go ahead, Josh.
I got a quick question. It's good. I'm happy that you kind of spoke on it. So I'm curious, like, do you have any feelings or like concerns with the defensive coordinator, Womack? I know back when we were playing ball, third down was the big thing. We would have down around us out on the field. Our pass rushers were on the field and they were violent as can be. And sometimes I think the defensive scheme and play calling was the tail sign. Like, you know how Tosh was on fourth down. we're calling Jags right, we're calling Falcons, we're making all these different calls to get these guys in positions to really attack the quarterback. And we haven't really seen it. Like we got 6 sacks on the year. I mean, when we had Tim Williams, when we had John Allen, we had those like within the first 2 quarters of the game. So I'm curious to get your input. Like, do you feel like it's a play calling thing? Do you feel like we just don't have those same type of rushers? Like, what is it that we're not getting established on the football field that we're able to create that pressure and like really get that sack percentage up?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Look, I'll say this. I think first and foremost, like you alluded to, the personnel, we don't have the same type of guys that me and you played with and Matt played with, right? I mean, that's just a fact. There's no disrespect to the guys that are there now.
Yeah,
but
we
just
had some beasts, like,
right?
We really did.
People don't understand how fortunate and how we were, bro. That doesn't happen often. I mean, literally, think about the 2 deep on our defensive line. They literally are 10-year NFL guys, Pro Bowlers. I mean, like Dalvin Tomlinson.
Yes.
I mean, he started maybe, senior year or something, but Dalvin was on the best defensive line, but he was behind Ashawn, Deron Payne, Jaron Reed. I mean, like, you name it. You know what I mean? So we were spoiled with depth and with really good depth and not just, big guys who could take blocks. These fools could take blocks. They were disruptive in pass rush. I mean, heavy-handed, physical. Dude, like do it all defensive linemen. And then even the edge, like you said, Tim, Ryan, both double-digit sack guys. My senior year, I had 9.5 sacks. Hell, I mean, you look at it, Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, Will, I mean, like Rashawn Evans, Terrell Anthony, like all of us were pushing double-digit. Like, so it was like for a span of maybe, I don't know, 8-10 years, you had literally double-digit guys, and not just on one side, but like both.
Yeah,
so we were spoiled.
Sure.
But your point about the coordinator, look, I like Coach Womack, great dude. Like his scheme is definitely different than what me and you are used to. They do things differently. But I'll say this: there's some things that I do think kind of works for sure that we didn't do, like just letting their guys kind of get after it. That's great. But I do think, just like anything, there's going to be pros and cons. Like if you're talking about like division coverage, like I told everybody when he first came, everybody tried to tell me just because I played under Coach Saban. I was saying like, look, man. Vision coverage and simplifying things, it sounds great, but just know you're not really preparing yourself to defend everything like we did. We were complex. It led to mental errors, but at least we had, I mean, hell, I got a binder right here with our playbook. I mean, literally, we had ways to defend any and everything that we could see, and that was within each call. Each call. You know that.
Yeah.
What they do, it's so simplified sometimes that when you're dropping in zone, you're reading a quarterback, you're not looking at your key. You're going to give up some holes if there's not pass rush, which we don't have great pass rush. So that's one thing. And then the other thing I'll mention too, like some stuff I think we try to get too cute, mugging the backers on 1st and 2nd down.
Yeah,
I don't like that because their first step is back. And then if it's a run downhill, then they're stepping back and then they're going back forward. And by then the offensive line's already climbed up on you. You know what I mean? You're not really flowing downhill. I don't like that. The Vol package where they put the outside backer like 2 yards over the ball and he's kind of just reading the flow. Sometimes it forces a tackle for loss. Other times he's just taking himself out of position, and we've got gashed on that. I don't like that.
Sure.
But to answer your question, I know like we got to keep going. I talk a whole bunch. I apologize. I'm used to doing radio, man. But I would just
great. This is great for all the defensive
we love it.
people.
Keep it going.
And I feel like this is a concern. And like you're hitting all the great points. So please keep going.
Yeah, and I like doing this because I see so much online, and no offense, but the armchair quarterbacks and coaches are, it's the scheme. Oh, that 4-2-5. And I'm sitting there in my head, Josh, and you know this as good as anybody. They're regurgitating what they hear.
Yeah,
and I'm like, so go back and watch 2023, Coach Saban's last year, back to 2018, my senior year. Go count, since you know so much football, go count the number of snaps we played in a 4-2-5, which is just nickel defense.
Yes.
It would account for about 80% of our defense. Why? Because defense is about matching personnel, right? So all these people say, we can't stop the run. We play Georgia.
Yeah.
They do 3-3-5. They do 4-2-5. Everybody, you have to be multiple now. Now, there's different philosophies in it, right? Different personnel within the personnel, right? The actual guys. But too many people just talking about things that they don't know. So I do like kind of breaking this down. But yes, I think we don't have the same elite players up front, which you definitely notice, right? Both on the edges and the interior. Hell, even at linebacker. I mean, I think our linebackers are good
Yeah,
players. I
I think
like
they're pretty
Deontay.
good.
Yeah, I
But
like Justin Jefferson, but it's not
it's
proven.
too much. Yeah, it's too much lateral movement, and like you said, like
They don't
we
really
had
take
dogs
blocks
and
on like
beat.
we did. We were coached to strike or take on blocks like as backers. I see sometimes they try to backdoor stuff. Like that was a no. Like you had no
Yeah,
choice. Like if somebody's coming to block you, brother, you better put a hat on a hat. We're
yeah,
not
for sure.
finessing stuff. You know what I mean? So like I think they do a little bit more of not necessarily finesse, but some things like that we used to two gap up front and let our
Hmm.
linebackers flow, take
For
on
sure.
stuff, and you know what I mean. But there's the way they play is a little bit different. But really, I think a lot of the issues we've seen with the run, a lot of it comes from guys not fitting things correctly.
Yeah,
Right.
gap
That's been a
integrity.
problem. There's times guys are both in the same gap. Then also, first week there's a lot of lack of physicality, and that was probably the most glaring thing. Bad angles, bad eyes, all that. But I'm just saying, as a whole, what I'm really seeing is guys not fitting things correctly. And then two, guys kind of, all right, I'm taking this guy on, and then just expecting somebody else to make the play.
Yeah,
You
for
got to
sure,
you got to shed that. Somebody's got to make the play. And
for
then the
sure.
last thing I'll say is our secondary guys, they got to be better in their run support too. I know you mentioned like the edge. A lot of the time it's not so much on the backer that's technically on the edge. It's really the next line, that guy who's that alley player or something. Those
Hmm.
guys have to come up and provide run support. If you go back and watch how we played, go watch Minka, go watch Ronnie Harrison, go watch any of those safeties that we played with. When
Yeah,
those dudes recognize run, there ain't no questions about
came
nothing else. They're
downhill. Yeah,
coming downhill and they're hitting somebody. When
yeah.
I watch our guys sometimes, whether it's corners and run support or safeties, they accept the block by the receiver like the NFL guys do. Man,
Hmm.
hell no. Nah. You gotta
Yeah,
go put
no.
a hat on a hat. You gotta go, you gotta step up. And I
Yeah,
think
for sure.
once they start playing more aggressive like that, taking on blocks and getting off of them, you'll see a better thing. I don't think the scheme's the biggest issue, even though there are some things in there that I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no doubt. Now Alabama did take a little bit of a step back. The main point for us defensively after that UL Monroe game was 12 tackles for loss, 0 sacks. Improved the Wisconsin game, was solid the Georgia game, and it seems like they regressed a little this week. 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, but a little inconsistent. But the defense in the second half has been a real highlight for Alabama. No points allowed this game against Vanderbilt. Only 7 allowed at Georgia, 14 allowed versus Wisconsin, and obviously none allowed versus UL Monroe. So, what have you seen that really changed in the second half, allowing Alabama to really, if needed, come back and really run away with games in the second half because of the play of their defense, Christian?
Yeah, I think adjusting. I think guys kind of getting a feel for kind of what's being thrown at them. I mean, I know even for us, I mean, look, as dominant as when we look back on our years, we forget that there's times we had slow starts. Josh remembers
Yeah.
this. Mac, you remember this.
Sure.
We used to actually almost have a reputation sometimes starting slow. We
Hmm.
go to halftime and come out and kind of do the same thing. Sometimes as a defense, man, when they're throwing stuff at you and it's sometimes it's what you see in practice. A lot of the times people try to hit you with the element of surprise because you're the University of Alabama. They don't expect to match up with you
Yeah.
on a personnel basis. So, but I think looking at our defense, I think just really them kind of getting in their groove and kind of saying, all right, bet,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Kind of responding. Like sometimes it seems like they're feeling things out. I know in this past game, having James Smith come back and seeing how disruptive he was up front,
Sure.
that always helps. LT Overton's been really solid up front as well. But like I said, I think just being gap sound. I think sometimes those early plays, right? You're trying to
Hmm.
fit things and it's come at you quick. But then after the flow of the game happens and you start feeling out their blocking schemes and how guys are doing certain things, you kind of just as a defensive player to start recognizing things a little bit better and can start flowing better and just letting things happen a little bit more naturally. So I would say it's probably that. But then even from an adjustment standpoint, I do want to give Kane Womack his credit because I know a lot of people they get on him sometimes for his lack of adjustments. But I will say in this game, we did mix things up a lot. And going back to the scheme, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Quay Russaw being out, you're really limited at that Wolf outside linebacker spot. We saw some. Now I know we've been running some 3-4 looks, which I told people it's not just a 4-2-5. They do other stuff, but
Hmm.
with them having being limited there, they got into some 4-3 stuff. We saw them actually do regular 4 down with 3 backers. They ended up putting Justin Jefferson at basically like a Sam linebacker spot and putting Hill Green in there, right? I think the second half they had some more 4 down stuff and mixed it up a little bit and show some different looks on defense. So again, I think the more multiple you can be and match personnel better, right? And just make sure your guys are fitting things correctly. I think that's always going to be a recipe for success on defense. But I mean, it's tough nowadays, man. Like Vanderbilt's offense, that's a tough offense to defend, man. I mean, it's
It is.
option based. They're throwing the football, but I tip my hat to our guys because I mean, Pavia was rattled. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys saw what I saw, but second half, I mean, he looked
Oh yeah.
frustrated. He wasn't even throwing it the same. He went in going into the game. He was top quarterback in scoring touchdowns, I believe. I mean, he been playing some good football, but defense did what they needed to do. So hopefully they can continue to play like they did in that second half.
Yeah, Josh, same question for you. I know you were talking about what you wanted to see following that Georgia game and really the lack of rush defense that we had. And this game, aside from Pavia, who had 12 carries for 58 yards, most of those being scrambles, Alabama only allowed what 78 yards on the ground from running backs from
Yeah.
Vanderbilt. So what did you see this game that you liked out of that rush attack?
Well, just like Christian said, and I don't want to reiterate it too much, but the halftime adjustments, you saw guys really change their demeanor and like change their physicality and really get into the groove. So I just think it comes with how people tend to come out and play the University of Alabama. Like Christian said, like they're gonna throw wild cards. They're gonna make a whole lot of shifts. And University Alabama has always struggled when we've had a dual threat quarterback. So for us to be able to come back in the second half and limit some of those big plays, I really saw that was a really good thing. And like Christian said, hats off to Womack. He is a great coach and he's a great defensive schemer. So I really commend him on the job he's been able to do with these guys and what he's been able to do with what he has had. Going down early, losing Tim Keenan. We lost Latham with the neck injury, and we got Quay Russo out with the foot injury. Being able to have that next man up mentality and put those guys in the right position so they are able to make plays. You kind of got to tip your hat off to them because it is kind of difficult. Especially when you're trying to establish identity early in the season.
No doubt. And Mac, we talked a lot about Ryan Williams. Obviously, those two drop touchdowns against Georgia and against Wisconsin. Solid week this week. He had, what was it, 6 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown, carried obviously by that 54-yard reception. What did you see this week, his response to really struggling in the 2 weeks prior with those drop touchdowns?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say there's like something magically different about the way he played, but it's Ryan Williams. He's good and he's going to continue to gain confidence throughout the season. Like I think he started the season with a little bit of low confidence after the opener against Florida State, but as you see that confidence build up, especially for a wide receiver, it's so much mental game when you're making a catch. And when he catches the ball, he's going to do something special. I don't think there's like I mean, I think back to like guys who I played with and, think about Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, the things they could do on their feet. That's what reminds me of what Ryan Williams can do as well. When he gets the football and he makes the catch and like focuses on just getting the ball, everything else is just natural and looks great. And you can see that he's building that confidence back up. And in this game, he was Ryan Williams. He wasn't anything different. He wasn't anything like super. That's how Ryan Williams plays. He's a special player. So I hope to continue to see him do that throughout the season.
Yeah, and Christian, we've talked a lot about Ty, and earlier today, Joel Klatt said if his last name was Manning, they would already be handing him the Heisman Trophy right now. But what have you seen out of him week over week? Just his improvement and really he just looks phenomenal, and I don't want to call him a game manager because that has a negative connotation to it now, but just how he is able to manage a game, how he after that Florida State game against Georgia, and really this week as well, how they can take getting punched in the mouth and respond, and he's just looked phenomenal week in and week out, and I'm curious to hear what you you have seen out of him this season so far.
Yeah, man. I mean, I second everything you said. I mean, look, I mean, this guy has been playing arguably the cleanest football at the quarterback position throughout this season. I mean, he's at just shy of 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns, one interception that came last week. Again, week 5 was his first pick. And it's not like, he's just dumping it off, doing a bunch of screens and quick game. I mean, no, I mean, this guy's he's been slinging it. Yeah. I mean, he's fitting it in tight spaces. I mean, technically, he should have had an interception against Georgia, got dropped it, but still, even then, I mean, so say he had 2. This guy has been about as accurate as you can ask for. But I think what's more impressive for me is that, I mean, his ability and his confidence that he's showing pre-snap, getting guys in the right things. I mean, they go off that clap, and they're seeing what the defense is in. He's communicating, check-in, getting his guy. I mean, like, he operates like a pro quarterback. And I agree with Joel Klatt. I mean, let's just be real. If Arch Manning swapped resumes with Ty Simpson right now, it would be a lock that Arch would be a Heisman front runner. Ty needs to get more recognition. That will come. I don't think he's even worried about that. But if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's going to see himself in New York at the end of the year. But I mean, literally, there's the only thing I could probably critique Ty on is, like holding the ball this past game, taking some of those sacks, especially in the red zone area. Again, that's something that, a young quarterback would do. And even though he's not young, he's still young when it comes to experience. That's going to get better. But outside of that, I mean, footwork, accuracy, right? I mean, the 2-minute drill, flawless, right? His ability to evade pressure, keep plays alive, keep his feet down, or keep his eyes downfield, set his feet, throw the ball. I mean, those hole shots. I mean, this dude. And I don't think. Look, if you want to say game manager, I completely get it. I would say he's an elite game manager, but he's also like on the verge of showing himself as a game changer because he can make those throws in critical moments like we saw him before the half against Vanderbilt. And I think the more he shows that, I mean, you might put him in that game changer category because I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, he's been about as rock solid as you can ask. And I think as long as this is probably going, we got to play some good defense coming up. Oklahoma has got a really good defense. Missouri is technically decent on paper. I know they haven't played anybody. We'll see.
Versus Ed and Eddie, yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I used to love that show. But no, I mean, and so he's probably going to have some times, right, where he might come back down to reality a little bit. But through 5 games, man, I think he's everything that they wanted and more. And that's what he looked like in the preseason. I'm glad he's doing that on a weekly basis during the season. And like I said, if he continues playing like that, he's making everybody around him better, and he has just been killing it. And I'm really happy for him, man. He's a guy like me and Josh and all the other guys that wait patiently, wait your turn, and you're seeing that pay off. So shout out to him, man. I'm rocking with him. I hope he's in New York. I think he will be.
Yeah, his Heisman odds continue to rise. After that first drive against Georgia, I got him at plus 1450. According to some books, he's now down to 700, third best odds behind Dante Moore at Oregon and Carson Beck for Miami. Kind of warranted. They've both been playing well, both on undefeated teams. But another star in the offense this past week was Jam Miller. He played a role in Georgia, but he was still clearly not 100%. This week, he looked like he was fully back 100%. 22 carries, 136 yards, and a touchdown. And my favorite was that touchdown covering because before the game, that video of Diego taking a knee, I was telling Mac and Josh, even if we're up 40, I want us to go for 2. So even running in, getting that touchdown late to just cover just a little last screw you kind of thing. But going back to Jam, just a really big week, and that's super, super big for the offense going into this next stretch of games, starting this next week with Missouri.
Yeah, and I look, I'll say this, man. We needed to get our running game going, and that's exactly what he's been able to help us do. And look, shout out to the guys up front because I broke down the tape earlier, man. The guys up front did a phenomenal job against Vanderbilt, getting good push. I mean, they ran a number of different runs. You saw some misdirection, counter, zone. I mean, they did a number of different things. But I think the element that Jam brings is he's explosive, he's physical, and he's got great vision, right? When he sees that hole, he hits it, and he definitely gets downhill and he makes guys pay. He's going to lower his shoulder, but he's your all around back. I mean, one thing that people don't talk enough about is with him coming back, look how the protection has changed. I mean, his ability to step up and be physical and pass pro, I think, has been one of the catalysts for the improvement we've seen even with the offensive line, because I think he just helps add that element. I mean, Georgia brought a lot of pressure. We saw Vanderbilt trying to bring pressure. Those guys, especially Jam, stepping up there and not afraid to get their nose dirty. But I mean, again, we mentioned that stat earlier, first 100-yard back since 2023. Man, Jam is a beast. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, really can do it all, 3-down back. And I think he's obviously a huge addition having him back. And hopefully we can continue to keep getting him going and giving him carries like that, because that just really is like the cherry on top for this offense. We already knew the receivers and what they could do, but having a back that you can rely on to pound the football and get you those yards. Like, I mean, it seemed like every time he touched the ball, he's going for 5 or 6 a pop this last week. So I think that's that extra element that we were lacking with our offense. And I think he's a large part of why we're seeing that spark now.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mentioned Diego's antics, and really for all three of you, Josh, I'll start with you. What would be your reaction seeing a player practicing a knee before a game, grabbing his junk to the student section, and then after the game getting into it with a fan because of that, the fan obviously taking a problem to him for good reason, grabbing his junk in front of kids in the student section, all that. But as a player, what would the three of your reactions have been to seeing a player practicing a knee and doing all that crap before a game?
Matthew, before you dig in, I'm just curious because I want to make sure, just because the light of today is that I feel like we see the first thing online and we are like completely like, oh, this is what this is, and we don't dig into what is actually going on. Is it fully confirmed that he grabbed his junk?
There's a video of it, yeah.
He grabbed his nuts in front of the. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Well, that's
There's a
all I need to
video.
know. Josh, go ahead. Just wanted to make sure before we start saying anything
My
on it.
will on his ass. Ain't no way in the world that I'm letting him leave the way he came in. We're going to be calling in the ambulance. We're going to need a stretcher, a cart, you name it. This is not going down. Like any time that he was going to try to scramble, I'm going to punish him and make him pay. Like that's just come on. Like we're professionals. You know, we're at SEC. We're on live TV. We have major supporters that come out, kids, and to show that type of disrespect. I get it. Like there's beef. There's like some type of rivalry that they want to create with us now that they beat us. Like I get it, but you have to have some type of professionalism about yourself. Like it's just inappropriate, and like it's just too disrespectful. So if I see someone disrespecting my field and my people, like yeah, I'm gonna make them pay. So
Yeah,
that'll just be my thing.
you notice how Mac tried to defend his fellow Vanderbilt
Whoa,
commodore right there?
there was no defending. Like it was just strictly the shit that is online. I can't stand. It'll be a freaking clip of somebody, and it'll be him saying some shit, and everyone. It's not just sports. It's everything that people are like. Oh, this guy, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, did someone even see if this was true? This is what he was. When was this said? What was the context? Like, I just want to make sure before we
You
say
need
it on
context
here.
for somebody grabbing themselves
that-
in front of you? I don't think there's no
And
context.
Mac,
he's
Mac, I
right.
just
No,
sent
he's
you the
right.
video if you want to watch it.
Well, I will say Mac is right though, because like for example, like the Neil thing, I thought I saw the clip of them doing that and throwing the ball in the air, and I was like, all right, like y'all really are tripping. Like, I mean, come on now, like before the game, y'all really. But then I found out allegedly, I saw a tweet that they do that every game. So there are some situations where you don't see the whole story, then people jump to conclusions. There's other stuff too. I remember one time I was commenting something on my radio show, and somebody was like, "Oh no, but here's the actual thing." And I was like, "Oh damn." Well, I didn't see that. So, but if there's a video of him grabbing his stuff and doing all that, I don't have an excuse for that. But to be fair, I will say, what do you kind of expect from him? I mean, he's been on a whole media circus the last year since he beat Alabama. After he beat Alabama, he had a colorful interview. I mean, his whole family was on the field. I'm like, bro, did they just win the Super Bowl? They won a regular season game. So I mean, I don't
Got
know.
Johnny Manziel at the game, rooting for him, bringing
Oh
people
Yeah, and
god.
out.
that,
Like,
that he was
come
getting
on.
into it with fans doing the Heisman pose, not realizing that Alabama won the national title that year, so Alabama got. But anyway, but yeah,
I,
the whole circus was bizarre.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say this. Yeah, obviously you got two defensive guys on here, Christian and Josh. But the fun thing is, and Christian's alluded to it in this show, but Josh is we've talked about it all the time. Like the guys, and I got to know him really well because of scout team getting my ass just absolutely knocked out, hitting dummy style. But if like the guys that we played with saw that shit, I wish that we could teleport the defenses of the years that we were there to that time because
yeah.
it would be a bloodbath. Like those guys would take it so freaking personal. I mean, just thinking about Reuben Foster or
Jonathan
John Allen or
Allen.
any
Oh
of
my
those guys.
God.
Yeah.
He
They
would
would
Mm-hmm.
lose it.
they would I was like
100%.
they would knock his ass out. And they would do it like the right way, not they wouldn't do it like illegally. They would do it the right way in the game, but they would make his ass pay for doing that kind of stuff. It was kind of crazy. It's interesting to hear that, Matthew. I'll take a look at the video after this show, but that's pretty crazy. Along with C Mill's point, that's kind of the way he was though, and it's like I'm not going to say you can grab your nuts in front of fans and especially kids and children. I think that's a little bit over the top, but you kind of got to like, there's something about the delusional confidence that Vanderbilt, it helped Vanderbilt football. They haven't had a guy like that who's really put Vanderbilt on the map in the football world and said, hey, we're going to be this, we're going to be that. And then also stood on business for, quite some time. Not defending them by any means. I think it was wild and actually kind of pissed me off, all the stuff leading up to it. Just like, it's like a little too much of the show. But at the same time, he was putting some numbers up. He was doing some big things. And I think for Vanderbilt in general, it's really like people were after this game. There's been people tweeting about this game and how, excited we were to beat or Alabama was to beat Vanderbilt. And, no one would ever think we would ever see that, that the guys and would be excited about it or happy about this win and, making it all this big deal. I'm not saying it was the biggest deal in the world, but it brought a lot of hype and attention to the game. So, on another side of it, the media and marketing side, he's doing something right.
Well, look at Florida State too. I mean, I will just add, Tommy
They backed it up.
Castellanos, he went on a media run talking crazy. His team bought into it. Now they've lost to Virginia and Miami, so maybe it's wearing down, but it obviously did something for when they played us because they came out there ready to play. We sure as hell didn't. So I think there might, like Mac, I think you're right. I mean, there's something about having that one guy, especially coming from your quarterback, right? Bringing that type of energy. Like sometimes you're right. Like, bro, just like they say, like fake it till you make it. Sometimes you keep telling yourself, you start to believe it. So I think maybe that's kind of what we've seen, but I'm not a fan of that thing. I don't do all that, but like you said, I think it might actually have worked for Vanderbilt. And dude, even though they lost to us, 5-1 and what they've accomplished last 2 years. Look, from where they've come from, hey man, if that's how they got to do it, so be it, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Clark Lee's a great coach. I just took and like you said, Christian, Dago's been doing that every game, and we found that out after the fact that he practices taking a knee every game and launches the ball into the air. But as a fan, seeing that, I wanted us to beat him by 40, run up the score, go for two whenever we could, which was why I was so happy when Jam got that touchdown to cover. Just seeing him deflected on the sideline, hugging Johnny Manziel, that whole circus was satisfying for me to see. But as a whole, Alabama gets their fourth straight win, 30-14 over 16th ranked Vanderbilt. Now they hit the road for the first time in 2 weeks, and they are hitting the road to play 14th ranked Missouri, their third consecutive ranked opponent. And this one is a little interesting because Missouri hasn't exactly played anybody, and they haven't even played a road game yet. They beat Central Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana Lafayette, South Carolina, and UMass. And because of it, they're ranked among the top in the nation in really every statistic. Fourth in offensive yards per game, seventh in points per game, third in rushing, second in defensive yards per game, first in rushing defense, 10th in passing defense. But all that is because they've played the 109th ranked strength of schedule in the country. So going into this week, Christian, I want to start with you. How do you really game plan for Missouri, seeing that they played South Carolina, but it was an injured South Carolina with a Lenora Sellers who wasn't full strength, without Dylan Stewart? How do you game plan for a team who is among the top in the nation and everything, but they're playing Central Arkansas, Louisiana Lafayette, and teams who really are? Alabama's the best team they've seen by a long shot.
Yeah, I think you go into it how you attack every game, same process, breaking them down. Man, it's one of those things like we used to say, faceless opponent, right? And like they are a good opponent, even though they haven't really played anybody. And I think it'll be similar to Vanderbilt. Statistically, they look really good, but then you still find out some of those areas of weakness that hadn't really fully been exposed just yet. I think that definitely probably will be the case in this game. But I will say they do have some pieces that you definitely have to respect. Ahmad Hardy, their running back, he's arguably one of the best backs in the country. And a matter of fact, his name comes up in that Heisman conversation. But he's averaging like 146 yards per game. We talked
730 yards, 9 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, those are big numbers, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of who you're playing, like you still got to go out there and put those numbers up. So I'll say this, man. I think the biggest key for me in terms of this process, man, you got to find a way to stop the run, because what they're going to do is, they're going to watch the tape. They're going to see that we've given up explosives on the ground, and they're going to try to take advantage of that. So you got to shore up your rush defense in this football game, because that's what they want to do. Their quarterback's a good player too. Bo Prevula, who transferred, I think maybe from Penn State, but
Penn
um,
State. Yep.
yeah, I mean they've got some good pieces, man, and we're going on the road again. That's another thing, but in terms of just how you approach it, man, I think you watch the tape like you do with everybody, and you find out areas of weakness, obviously the things that they do well, and you just got to come up with the best game plan possible to go out there and give your guys a chance to have success. And I'll say this: I think it's more so at this point about what we do than what other people do. I think we've proven that when we play to our standard and we go out there as a defense and we're physical, we play with intensity, we fly around in the football, we come up with turnovers. And really, what we've done a really good job with is coming up with key plays and key situations in the football game. You typically have a lot of success, and offensively, no different, man. Starts with the guys up front, be able to be physical, establish that running game, but then let Ty Simpson work and feed all those skill guys that we got. I think that's the biggest thing, man. Focus on one day at a time, 1 week at a time, and really our preparation, what we need to do. And I think we should be okay. But I'm looking forward to it. I like that we're having these challenges because we're finding more out about ourselves. And I think it's just preparing us, as we continue to roll through this gauntlet. But it's going to be a tough one. Like I said, running game for Missouri is definitely impressive. But we'll see, I guess, the true test when they go against an Alabama defense is probably the best unit that they've seen up to this point in the season.
Yeah, Josh and Max, same question for you guys.
Well, I think it has everything to do with what we have to do and nothing to do with the actual team that we're playing. As long as we get back to our fundamentals, and like Christian alluded to, like we've already been in a hostile environment when we went and played between the hedges. Like we've had that big time where we had to fight against adversity. So I think it has everything to do with us as a team, coming together. We've shown that we've lacked in the rushing game. So being able to go back to the drawing board and draw up schemes, being able to wrap up on tackles, play great football and being able to tackle and scheme and make sure you're playing assignment football and you're locking on your guy and they're not going down the field or missing a tackle or being able to scramble for all these yards. So I think we have to get back to the fundamentals and establish our identity as like, hey, look, we're going to be this ground punch you in the mouth type team and strip the ball from you and really make you fight for those yards. So I think it's a great challenge that we have, especially with the running back that they have over there, and to see these guys fight and really try to make a name for themselves. I think we'll be good.
Yeah, I would say on my end, offensively, the biggest thing is going to be to have to establish the run. Missouri has an incredible, or statistically and on paper, a good rush defense. And, with Alabama kind of struggling to get that run game going throughout the season, it's obviously gotten better and better as the games have gone on and the reintroduction of Jam Miller. But, for us, it's super important that we establish that run game early on and have success because it just opens up the opportunity to be balanced, which, keeps the defense guessing, allows the offense to make a lot of decisions and be able to do things that we wouldn't be able to do if we didn't have the run game there. So that's one thing. And then also protecting the quarterback. Got to give Ty some time. I think I looked up a stat that Missouri had eight sacks on the season. So need to protect Ty, give him the ability to make those throws because their secondary is an area where we'll have a key mismatch, I think, with Ryan Williams, Jeremy, and the other receivers, Isaiah Horton, Brooks as well. Like those guys are just, hopefully we continue to have a good pass game. And then defensively, it's just stop the run. Everyone on here has talked about Missouri's running back is a stud again on paper so far to who they played, and his stats are pretty crazy. So got to be able to stop him and minimize the mistakes. I know Josh has preached a lot this year that we've had so many penalties, and it's kind of improved throughout the season. But like, it's any of these games are going to be close games. I think with the whole NIL era, it opens up. There's no longer the old Alabama, the old Georgia that's so dominant that's, hey, they're going to win game after game. Each of these games, in a sense, can be, in my opinion, kind of a toss-up. There's so much talent on each team with the guys' abilities just to transfer and up and leave and go to a different school. And so minimizing those mistakes, giving on the offensive side, being able to continue to have that explosive pass game, protecting the quarterback, establishing the run, and then defensively, again, just stopping their run and overall playing discipline and getting back to those basics that C-Mill, you talked about it just a ton, is like on defense. It was really helpful for me to understand, hey, what is the problem? Because I'm sitting here as an offensive guy and I'm seeing, if they're just breaking away for a run. I'm like, what is it? And I know there's that thing of the mentality is different of the guys, but what in particular is the factor that's contributing to guys not being able to make a play when stopping the run? So those are my big things for Missouri. But yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to the game.
Yeah, I mean, you guys all said it there, and I'll continue to echo it. This game is going to be won or lost on the ground, one way or another. Missouri has a great rushing defense against, again, not great opponents, but it's still Division One football. All of their games have been at home, and this one is in Columbia, Missouri as well. So it's going to be won or lost there. And Alabama struggled this week to stop Diego Pavia on the ground, and Bo Prabula can run it too. He has 3 touchdowns on the year, 121 yards through what, 6 games, 5 games. So he can run it if needed as well. And Alabama will need to contain him and obviously Ahmad Hardy. They don't really have a go-to receiver. It's Kevin Coleman reception-wise. He has 39 receptions for 386 yards, but he has 1 touchdown on the year. So they don't exactly have one go-to guy. So it's more or less just that rushing attack that Alabama will definitely have to hone in on for an 11 a.m. kick up there in Columbia. So should be another good game. Alabama's third consecutive ranked opponent, 11 a.m. on Saturday up there in Missouri. And now we get to our favorite part of the show, our pick segment. Last week, if you were telling us you had a pretty good week, all three of us went 6-2. One of the 2 games, I went 6-1 in college. I'll toot my own horn right there. I got the Dolphins Panthers game wrong. But all three of us 6-2. Josh and Max still tied on the year at 31-23-1. I'm making up some ground. I'm at 28-26-1. All three of us above 500, which is wild for a betting segment. But all three of us can hang our hats on that. And then Christian, you're going to be going up against Nick Kelly and Slade Bolden. Nick was 4-4 in week 5. Slade was 3-5 in week 4. So you just gotta beat Slade, and you'll be in a good spot. So this week we'll start the same way we do every week. 8th ranked Alabama on the road at 14th ranked Missouri. Alabama a 2.5 point favorite. And Christian, we always let our guests go first, so I'll give you the floor.
So I don't know exactly how to pick all this stuff, but I'm taking Bama in the game. So we're favored by 2.5.
We're favored by 2.5. So do you think we win by 3 points or more?
Yeah, I do. I think we do. So yep. So there we go. So that's my pick right there. Hey, look. So I told you guys earlier before, right, like as players, we can't touch anything betting. So like I'm still new to this whole world. I try to talk about it on my show a little bit because a lot of our listeners get into it, but I'm figuring it out. So yes, I take Alabama winning, and so that means I would say I take Alabama with the
minus
points.
2.5
with the spread.
The spread. There we go.
With
Alabama
points.
winning.
Yep.
Alabama's with the spread 2.5, minus 2.5. Yes, sir.
Yep. C-Mill, I'll say this quick. I know we're obviously doing picks, but it's just funny that you say that because I did not, obviously had no clue what it was. And I was always like, after graduating, I was like, like sports betting is like lame, like who does it and all this stuff.
What's
and
the
then I
half
worked.
point?
I did consult. Yeah, I had no clue what anything was, and then I did consulting for a sports betting company, and I started to have to really learn and dig into it. And I'm telling you, I don't want to get you hooked on it or get you started doing it, but it's pretty damn fun being a guy who doesn't play the game anymore.
No, listen, no, it is because I had a deal with my radio show last year with the one of those betting services, but it was one that you can do in Alabama, like parlays or something like that.
Yeah,
but dude, I tell people, I'm like, I don't encourage you to do it, but I'm like, it made watching the games more fun.
Yeah,
because I'm like,
and that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm like, now
if you don't have a dog in the fight for Friday, it's a big game. North Texas and USF, that's a big game, but a lot of people don't care about it. But if you're betting one way or another, now you got a little at stake and you want to watch it.
Oh yeah, no, that's what it did for me. I was like, man, but see, this was it was so hard because you had to pick, this guy have 2 touchdowns or a rushing touchdown or less than 138.5 yards. I'm like, man, I don't know I don't know what to pick. I'm just picking random stuff because I gave you some money to play with, and let's just say, I ran out of that money quick. And I was like,
you should be following our picks because apparently you'd be doing pretty well lately.
Yeah, well, I'll tune in this time. Next time they give me some more credit to run with, I'll make sure I tune into them 3 podcasts.
All right. Well, Mac, Alabama, 2.5 point favorite at Missouri.
Yes, I want Josh. I want to be clear to go before me in some of these tonight because he likes
Oh
to
my
tail all my picks, me being the betting
God,
sharp of the group.
I'll
But
switch it. I'll switch it up every
Mac,
game.
this
why are
this
you
one's the
doing
easy one
this?
to me. I think the line is pretty interesting. Obviously, we don't know too much about Missouri, but besides what they have on paper, and who knows if that's a lot or not. We know a lot about the Crimson Tide, watching them all season. So I'm going to take Alabama -2.5 to cover the spread. Go ahead and hammer. Go ahead and hammer them.
Josh,
Give me Alabama covering the spread. Like, I don't think
you think
Missouri
Ty
can.
Simpson's gonna be slanging that thing?
Yeah, yeah. Max said he's gonna be hammering, just hammer him away. Oh my gosh! But yeah, I don't think Missouri has what it takes. 2.5 isn't a lot. I mean, like what are they saying? Like we're ranked 8th in the country. Like Ty is putting up phenomenal numbers. Like, are they saying like it's gonna be a high scoring game? What? Like I'm confused there. But like I don't think Missouri it's the true caliber team to really like just make it a very very challenging game. So you can give me Alabama covering the spread on that
I
one.
think it too with us having to travel, them having the home game. I heard this. I don't know if this is right. The home team automatically gets like +3 or
3.
something like
Yeah,
that.
3 points.
So maybe
Okay.
Alabama, if it was in Tuscaloosa. Now, see, I learned a little bit now. If it was in Tuscaloosa, technically Alabama would be more like
You let you
-5.5,
you know
something like
more
that.
than you let on.
Maybe, yeah, I might have heard a couple. I might have asked a couple questions around.
He's
Around.
sandbagging us.
No, I'm not. I promise I'm not.
Well, all four of us easily going with Alabama. Like I said, I think this one comes down to Jam Miller and really just the rushing defense and our rushing attack as well. I think Jam is in for another big week. Ty's gonna have a big week as well. Alabama covers the 2.5. Next one, Ohio State, first ranked team in the nation, going on the road to play 17th ranked Illinois. Ohio State, a 13.5 point favorite, and I'm gonna ride with the Buckeyes to cover 13.5. Josh, what say you?
I'm going with the Buckeyes all the way. They have looked like the most complete team in NCAA football. I mean, offensively, defensively, special teams. Like, I mean, the game earlier on in the year with when they played Texas. I mean, they completely shut down what Arch Manning had going. So, give me the Buckeyes for that.
Mac?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Buckeyes as well. I mean, to reiterate a little bit what Josh said, they're just, top 5 defense in the country, and also been putting up around like 50 points per game in the last couple of games. And Illinois, although their record looks good, has inched out a couple of wins against, mid-level opponents.
Yeah.
And so I think Ohio State's going to come in there and win by probably more than that, to be honest.
And they got that big loss against Indiana. Like, it was pretty harsh. So I don't
Recovered with a good win versus USC, though.
Yeah, they did. They did.
They did. So, Christian, Ohio State, a 13.5 point favorite at 17th ranked Illinois.
Where is it being played at?
At Illinois.
It's at Illinois. Obviously, I'm going to Ohio State. I'm just trying to think on the points, man. Part of me is kind of like, I wouldn't be shocked if maybe Illinois covers, but I'm gonna stick with Ohio State, man. I think it was the more experience Julian Sand gets, I think he's going to keep playing better and better, and I think they'll continue to obviously keep on rolling. So yeah, I'll take Ohio State and I'll take them covering.
Awesome. So all four of us on the Buckeyes. Next one, a top 10 showdown. 7th ranked Indiana hitting the road to Eugene, Oregon, playing the 3rd ranked Ducks. Oregon, a 7.5 point favorite in this one. I've liked how Dante Moore is playing. I'm going to go with Oregon in this one. Mac, Oregon, a 7.5 point favorite.
This is an interesting one because Oregon inched out that one against Penn State, and then Penn State the next week comes out and gets beaten. It's like, it's so hard to know this year. I feel like I'm still figuring out these teams and things are still changing. But, I faded Oregon last time when they were playing Penn State. So I'm going to have to go with Dan Lanning and the Ducks with this one, -7.5. I'm going to take Oregon.
Josh?
Give me the Oregon Ducks. And it's not because Mac picked the Oregon Ducks. I got my own philosophy over here. I think Dan Lanning did a great job coaching against James Franklin like Max said, they inched out a very close game. Even though Penn State has definitely dropped the ball, I feel like a team like that being able to show overcome adversity and like really show that they have the will to win. I think they'll do great against Indiana, and I think they'll cover.
And Christian, Oregon, a 7.5 point favorite at home versus Indiana.
At home, I'm gonna go Oregon and take them covering as well. Yeah, I just Dante Moore, man, he's a really good player, and so I'm gonna take them taking the points as well.
All four of us on the same side on the first three games might switch up here. Red River, I guess they're calling it the Red River rivalry now, no longer the shootout. It is an SEC game now, and Texas is unranked. Oklahoma is sixth ranked team in the nation, but Texas is a 2.5 point favorite. Oklahoma does not have John Mateer. I think Texas has to bounce back at some point. Bad loss against Florida. I'm going to go with Texas in this one. Christian, I'll shoot it right back to you.
I'm gonna go Oklahoma in this one, but honestly, I'm kind of torn, man, because Texas does have a good defense, and obviously them playing a backup. I don't even know who the backup is for Oklahoma. I just was kind of relying on Oklahoma's defense, who I think is a really good unit. And I know Arch has kind of struggled, but now I might be talking myself into kind of siding with you, man. Now that I think about that, I'm like, yeah, it's tough, man. It's
It
tough.
is.
I'm not gonna hold us up. I'll switch it up just to have fun with it. I don't care. Give me Oklahoma, and I guess if it's what three, I guess I guess they're
2.5, yeah.
yeah. I'll take them for that as well. I'll have fun with it, man. Who cares if I lose to Nick Kelly and Slade Bolden, man? It's all good, man.
And Josh, Mac picked first last time, so kicking it to you this time.
Uh, I think it's a pretty challenging game. I mean, you look at the games, Oklahoma played. They played Auburn earlier on in the season. It was a really close game. You know, Arch Manning and Steve Sarkisian are coming off the loss in the Gump. I think they're going to be able to, bring it back down together and like really be able to put together a game plan and you know, put themselves back on the map and be able to contend. I mean, I don't see them contending for, national championship spot, but at least try to make it seem like, hey, look, we know we took some tough losses early on in the season, but like, hey, we are a team that can compete in this conference. So give me Texas covering.
All right, Mac.
Yeah, I mean, we've all talked to this game. It just like cracks me up thinking about it because I've seen a bunch all week. It's like I'm hammering the Sooners. I'm doing this. Like Oklahoma's like the easiest lock of the century.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen what I want to see from Texas this year, but Coach Sarkisian is a special coach, and I think he's going to figure it out. I think Arch Manning's going to figure it out, and I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. Follow along with
So you
Josh.
following me? You following me now? Okay.
I'm following you for this one. I don't really love it, to be honest. I don't really love it, but growing up, I loved the Longhorns, especially when Vince Young was quarterback. It was just so much fun to see. So it's kind of like a feel good play here, going off nothing but that, really. So give me Texas minus 2.5.
All right, next one on the slate, the Bobby Petrino-led Arkansas Razorbacks hitting the road to play the 12th ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee, a 12.5 point favorite in this one in Knoxville. Christian, what do you say?
Definitely going with Tennessee. 12 and a half. Man. I'll take Tennessee, but maybe not the points, if that makes sense.
All right, so you want Arkansas with
yeah, Arkansas spread,
Arkansas
but
on the
Tennessee
spread.
winning.
All right, Mac, what about you?
God, this is a tough one too. Like I hate sometimes because like I don't know. Like I like pick these picks a lot myself, and try to make some coin. And I haven't looked at this game too much. I mean, Tennessee's got an explosive offense. It's at home. That stadium is one of a kind. That environment's one of a kind. Tennessee's been playing pretty damn well. 12.5 points is a lot of points though, especially in the SEC. Shit. Give me Tennessee minus 12.5. Half it.
Josh?
I think I'm riding with the Vols. I think, they're still a little upset that Georgia got out of there with that win in their home stadium. So I think they're going to definitely try to prove something here, and especially with Arkansas having a new head coach right now. I don't see them being able to put it together in that hostile environment. So give me Tennessee covering.
Hopefully, no motorcycles on the way to this game for Bobby Petrino, but I'm not overthinking it. I'm going Tennessee with the points. Next one up, Florida coming off a massive win over Texas, maybe saving Napier's career this week. They're playing another Texas team this week on the road at Texas A&M, number 7 in the nation. The Aggies, 7.5 point favorite. They beat up on Mississippi State this week, and I think they're going to cover this week. A&M a 7.5 point favorite. What do you say, Christian?
I'm gonna go with A&M, and I'll take them covering as well. I think A&M is looking pretty good. I like their quarterback as well, and yeah, I'm gonna go A&M in this one.
Josh?
Give me Texas A&M. Like, you guys went with Mississippi State last week. I think I'm gonna continue on this A&M train. They looked really, really good. Stellar performance. So I'll take Texas A&M covering at home.
Mac?
I hate to fall up here and just side with Josh and C Mill.
Exactly.
You
But
guys
and
are
I
going to stay tied the rest of the year.
and I hate picking just so many, teams that are predicted to win by the amount of points. But I just think that, Texas A&M is a better football team, and I think they may even win by double digits. So I'm going to take Texas A&M with the spread minus seven
So
and a
you
half.
doubling down on that bet this weekend, right?
Yeah.
All right, next one up. 10th ranked Georgia, only a 3.5 point favorite for some reason at Jordan Hare playing the Auburn Tigers. I'll go with Georgia. I'm not quite sure why they're only a 3.5 point favorite. What do you say, Mac?
This is a toss up for me. I mean, I think if I just thought about it quick, I would say Georgia 100%. But you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna have some fun this week too, and I'm gonna throw Auburn in there to cover their spread plus 3.5. Some crazy things having a Jordan Hare Stadium, and especially home games against some pretty solid teams. We saw it during our time at Alabama. So give me Auburn to cover the spread.
Oh,
Wow, Josh does not
wow.
look like you agree.
No, I'm pretty shocked that Mac, he chose Auburn. Now, I will say, Hugh Freeze has done a phenomenal job. Like their last game that they played Oklahoma, it was a close game. They played Texas A&M, it was a close game. They're showing that they can compete and contend in the SEC. So I'm not shocked that the spread is 3.5. And then with them being at home, like Max said, like that stadium in Auburn, it gets loud and it gets rowdy. And we've been there, Christian. You know how it goes. Like, it's just something about it. It really is a hostile environment. It makes it hard to like come in there and compete. So, I mean, it sounds like I'm convincing myself to go on Auburn, but like I think Georgia and Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs will be able to pull it off and cover the spread. So give me Georgia.
All right, Christian, wrap us up. Georgia, 3.5 point favorite at Auburn.
I'm gonna go with Georgia, and I'll take them covering. To be fair, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I wanted to have fun. If my picks bomb, like I said, anybody listening, don't bet off of my pick because I have a feeling I'm gonna be dead ass last in this. I
Well,
just
so
wanted to
far,
switch it. Listen, I just wanted to switch it up a little bit and be a
What you
little different from
say?
you guys. So I'm not gonna lie. Some tells me Texas is gonna win that game, especially coming off a loss to Florida, but I wanted to give Oklahoma some love. But anyway, I'm going with Georgia in this one. I think they cover. But again, don't bet off of me. I am not an expert.
Well, we'll give you one last chance to make it up. This one for me is the toughest one on the slate. South Carolina hitting the road to play 11th ranked LSU. LSU coming off a loss versus at Ole Miss. LSU a 9.5 point favorite. It's a night game in Death Valley, and that's what I think is going to be the difference. I'm going to go with LSU covering the 9.5. Christian, I'll kick it right back to you.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a tough one. Is Lenore Sellers back healthy? Do we know
Yep.
that he is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, I mean, he's a good player. LSU's been kind of interesting to me this year, but I'll still go with LSU. It's in Death Valley. I'm gonna go with LSU and have them. I don't know. I might go LSU, but take South Carolina on the points.
Okay.
Yeah.
South Carolina to cover. And Josh, I believe you're up to go before Mac.
I think I've been on the Brian Kelly train for a while, so I'm gonna roll with the Tigers on this one.
Didn't
But
work out well last week.
I mean, no, but I don't think did we bet? I don't think we had them in there. Well, maybe we did, but
I guess it was 2 weeks. Yeah.
yeah. But I don't see them covering. Like, South Carolina has been looking really good, and I think the quarterback with them going out a little bit early, he's kind of got a little shaken up, but I think he's getting his feet under him. I don't see them covering the spread at
All
all.
right. And Mac, wrap us up.
I mean, dude, this you can't make this shit up. Josh and I like literally C-Mill. The whole thing was I started off hot in our picks. I was like dominating. Josh started creeping in. Matthew had a horrible start, but started to have a little get back. Now it's pretty close. Josh and I are tied in the lead. And I told them, I was like, look, Josh needs to go before me because I feel like he just chooses everyone I choose. But
Right.
now I'm here
That's what I
choosing the
would do.
ones. I'm choosing the ones that Josh is choosing, but they are my thoughts and my opinions. I'm definitely taking South
Mm-hmm.
Carolina plus 9.5 to cover the spread. LSU's had offensive problems all year. It's been streaky. Nussmeier has had turnover issues and they haven't really gotten it going. And so I feel like that limits the amount of points they'll have in the game. As well as South Carolina's got a good defense, top 15, I believe, or something in the country. And then you have Lenore Sellers on the other side, who I was preaching early on in the year is just a special player and a great quarterback. And, as I like to say, I think he'll be slinging that thing out there. But so I'm going to take South Carolina plus 9.5.
All right. Well, that'll do it for another episode. Christian, thank you very much for joining us and tell the people where they can find you, listen to your show as well.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me on here, man. It's been fun. I definitely enjoyed it, and you guys are more than welcome to hop on my show again. I host the Miller's Edge. Me and my dad normally doing it, but it's been me most of the time recently. But you can catch us on Tide 100.9 here in Tuscaloosa. But we've got the app. You can listen there. Just download that app. It's free, or you can always go on our YouTube channel, and I stream the radio show there at the Miller's Edge on YouTube. So same stuff on all socials at the Miller's Edge as well. But doing that, and I also host the post game show on the Crimson Tide Sports Network with Gray Robertson. So you guys, can hear me on there as well, plus doing some pregame work as well. But again, thanks for having me. It's been fun, and definitely, man, I'm gonna make sure I keep up with you guys. It's been a really good time, and best of luck to you all as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us. A lot of fun having you on, and we'll see how you stack up with Nick and Slade. So,
Hey, just put my results. I don't even need to see them or hear them. And y'all can just omit me from the podium and just know I did it for fun. Because I'm telling you right now, I ain't got faith in none of the shit I just told you on my picks.
Hey, but if you go undefeated, though, you
Oh yeah,
can't
if I'm
be claiming it.
undefeated, y'all put that
You'll
shit
be
all
back
over
on
Twitter
next
and
week.
everything. Y'all put it everywhere. If I'm undefeated, but if it goes how I think it's going to go, y'all put that shit in trash. Thank you very much.
well, again, thank you very much for joining us. That'll do it for episode 7 of the M3 show. Alabama hits the road this week to take on the 14th ranked Missouri Tigers. We'll be back next week to break it all down and preview the next game versus, I believe it would be Tennessee, the third Saturday of October. So a lot of good games coming up. So roll Tide, and we will see you next time.